A sunflower furniture makeover. First on my to-do list was addressing the leg situation, as it had none. So here I'm just unscrewing what used to be the legs. I'm using a wood filler to fill in the holes, and then I will attach my new legs on. I'm also going to change the hardware to a lovely gold to match my sunflower theme. I wanted them to be plain and simple because of course I'm adding artistry. So I've chosen this beautiful colour by Vintage with Grace. It's called Miss Minton and it's the perfect sunflower yellow. I want this piece to be bright and cheery, a complete statement piece for any home. And yes, I am painting the bottom. Other people might not know, but I would know. It would drive me crazy. Can I say, look how beautiful this colour is. So I have gone with the yellow gold for the legs, quite plain and simple again, just to match with the theme of the sunflowers. And they add a modern twist to the piece. So now this piece is standing, it's time to look at the interior. I really like this wallpaper, but unfortunately it was stained and ripped, so it's gotta go. Time for the painting part. So in total I did 3 coats of this paint. It had superb coverage, and the really good thing about this paint brand is that you can touch it up as you go and it doesn't leave any marks. Time to add the artistry. You may have seen in my previous video where I used the sunflower and I showed how I created my primary resources. Basically taking photographs of the sunflower at different angles, which is what I'm using for this piece today. So I like to build my paintings up in layers. This is what I would class as my first layer. I'm basically just mapping out the form of my subject matter. I also like to colour block, which is what you can see me doing now. So stage 1 takes a while as I'm trying to design around the structure of the cupboard. This includes hardware. I also like to freehand my pieces. These make them original artwork, which is always nice. I like to paint the different angles of the flowers and the different heights as well. This just makes it a bit more realistic. I always say imperfection is perfection. I don't like things that are very twee and fixed. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I don't have the attention span. Still painting. Man, this takes a while. Worth it in the end. Onto something new. Wallpapering the inside. So if you follow my previous furniture creations, you know that I always like to use a bold wallpaper design. But this time I've used something a bit more neutral that blends in. So here I'm fixing a broken edge by using the IOD moulds with air dry clay. This has got a tiny weeny sunflower design. It's a very intricate mould and it just sets the piece off lovely. So this is the second layer of painting. I'm double dipping. I'm using multiple colours following the contours of the petals, and I'm concentrating on my lights and my shadows, trying to make sure that 2 petals that are next to each other are not the same tone. This creates that layered effect. I can also add in more petals if needed. Concentrating now on the shadows, I am just extending the brown from the centre of the sunflower down along the contour of the petal line. This, as you can see now, has created a shadowed effect. The same as what I did with the petals, I'm going to go along all the stems and the leaves. I'm double dipping into 2 different tones of green and I'm just adding in those details and the veins of the leaves. I then just repeat the same process on the other sunflowers and the leaves. I decided to use acrylic paints for this piece. I wanted it to be a bit more textured and layered rather than a blended approach that I get when I use the oil paints. I'm just adding some of the finer detailing. This is now layer 3. I'm now dry brushing different tones of paints across the petal leaves. This is creating a beautiful texture. And then straight on to layer 4, we'll be adding the metallic paints. I like to add little bits of shimmer to the petals, especially when the light catches it. They look so pretty. As you can see from my paint palette, I use a variety of colours, a couple of golds, bronze, antique golds, browns, coppers, all sorts, and I just highlight certain areas. I decided I wanted to neaten off the edges, and to do this I used a black pen and I just outlined everything and added extra intricate bits of detailing. This also just slightly separates the florals from the background because obviously there's so much yellow going on. You can't go wrong with a bit of gold leafing, especially where sunflowers are concerned. I just wanted to add detailing to the edge of the shelf and obviously the cupboard doors as well. Just adds that little bit more of the wow factor. I could probably sit on gold leaf all day. This part is so much fun to do. I'm just using a painter's brush or my finger and I'm just rubbing off the excess gold leaf. Yes, this is a messy job, and yes, the gold leaf gets everywhere. Moving on to the waxing. So I'm using the Sloan clear wax. This is just perfect for any finish, any furniture. It's my ride or die sealant. It's just phenomenal. So I've added a generous coat of the clear wax. This is because I'm using the Sloan dark wax just to accentuate certain areas again, such as the trim. I then go back in with the Sloan clear wax and I rub off any excess. This makes the structure of the piece come alive and it makes the detailing stand out. And just to coincide with the gold leaf, I've mixed a variety of metallic paints, and again I'm just adding to that detail, creating that beautiful shimmer. And this was the final result, a sunflower furniture makeover from drab to fab. I have thoroughly enjoyed designing this piece. I hope you've liked the artistic journey too. I think all the brands, the colours, the different techniques that have been used, they all extremely worked well together. It has turned this piece into a statement piece, which I'm going to call Mrs. Minton after the colourway. If you would like to see more furniture makeovers on specific colours, themes, using specific techniques, then just drop me a comment and I will have a look into that for you. And that is it, 100% finished. I'm so pleased with this piece. This is my sunflower collection inspired by Vincent van Gogh's sunflowers. Thank you for watching and see you on the next project.